Stephanie Milky here, aka KetoMOM, or often called mom, sis, Steffi, daughter, wife, aunt, and friend. Just like many of you, I carry a lot of titles. My favorite title is mom. I should probably say wife, which takes a lot of my time. But let's be honest, if you want to do something and do it well, you will make the time for it. Commitment is hard because we find ourselves overcommitted, but when you practice prioritizing, you will find out what is actually important and what you can let go. With the KetoMOM podcast, you will learn together how to manage our time, commit to the most important things in life, and I will equip you with the tools you need to feel qualified each step of the way. My name is Stephanie Milky, and welcome to the KetoMOM Secrets podcast. Hello, welcome to the KetoMOM page. My name is Stephanie, and we're going through a book together called Mind Shift. Today, the title is It's All About People. So if you're brand new to the page, welcome. Here on the KetoMOM page, you're going to find lots of different things. You're going to find recipes, keto tips, not a majority of it, but over the last 2 years, I've made a mind shift, really helping you understand the importance of your mindset and how important it is to think right in order to achieve your goals. And so this is the book that we're going through together. And we started it yesterday. So as you're watching lives or you're just tuning in and you're like, wait, what was yesterday? At any point in time, these videos are taken and they're uploaded, and you can go to ketomomsecrets.com and you can go ahead and you can click on mindfulness, and you can go watch all of the books that we've done and listen to all of the books that we've done for the last 2 years. We also have a YouTube channel. So you can go to KetoMOM Secrets on YouTube and you can type in Mind Shift and you can go watch the other ones that we've done together. So we will continue to go through the book one chapter at a time. I don't read the book entirely to you. That would be weird. But I take a chapter, take out a couple thoughts for you to help you go throughout your day, to give you something to think about, to go, hey, here's a mind shift that I might need to make in my personal life. Oh, I never thought about that. Or maybe if I made this mind shift, it would help my life in this specific area. So it's called Mind Shift. If you don't have this book, I would encourage you to go get it, take a screenshot. It's incredible. And we're going to dive in. So Mind Shift, the power of mind shift. And so he says this. And actually, I would say in the very beginning of the book, he sets up why he talks about it, the power of mind shift. Hey, and just so you know, I am a mom. If you're brand new, I'm a mom. I'm a homeschool mom. I have 4 girls, an incredible husband, and 4 dogs. Don't ask me why. Some people are like, oh, you have 4 dogs because you have 4 girls. And I go, actually, no. Funny thing is we've actually counted. Well, I've counted on how many dogs my husband has brought home to our family, and it's been 12. We have found wonderful homes for them. My husband loves animals. People are like, you've had 12 dogs? And I would just say maybe we fostered them and have found other homes. We have 4 ourselves. And so sometimes you'll hear them barking. I also have 4 kids. We homeschool, and usually it is a wild ride at our house. So just to make sure, and we recap, in the beginning of the book, he basically just says this: the journey begins in your mind, and the battle is fought and either lost or won in your mind. So he's going to take you on this journey to help you understand how important it is that your mindset is really focused and moving in the right direction. Here on the KetoMOM page, everything that we read, I work on correlating it to your fat loss journey. Hey, you're here to lose weight, feel better, get healthy. How can we take this mind shift each chapter and apply it to your health journey? You might hear something that I say and apply it to your relationships or your marriage or parenting or your work environment or spiritually, like whatever it is in the journey that you're on. So today's chapter, it's called Mind Shift number 1. It's all about people. And he says this, he goes, I'm beginning here because if you miss this chapter, if you miss this very specific number 1 mind shift, he goes, listen, nothing else matters. So he starts it off like this, and he goes, the longer you live, the more you become, and the more you realize that it's inevitable that you will lose things. So he goes on and tells a ton of different stories. And he says, hey, we all lose socks. Where do they go? right? You put a pair of socks in the dryer and one disappears. We lose things. I don't know about you, but I've got 4 girls, and these little hair binders that are on our hair, I swear I buy them every time I go to the store, and then all of a sudden, they're all gone. Just like the socks, just like the undies, just like the hair binders, just like the things that the dryer eats, or somehow they just disappear from our home, right? We lose things all the time. But he says this: if you don't know what really matters, we will spend our lives accumulating the very things that do not matter. He talked about, and here's why I want you to get the book, because he has some incredible stories. But he goes, oftentimes we're so obsessed with things. Our family has gone through it. If you have kids, you understand, like, they want and they want and they want. There's phases of life that naturally a person should move into, hopefully, if they are working on their mindset. And if you're focused on being the best version of you, you start out as a kid and you want things, you grow up into teenage years and you still want things. Hopefully you're learning the power of relationships, but somewhere along the line in adulthood, hopefully you've moved from, oh my goodness, it's not things that make me happy. It's not even experiences that make me happy or bring joy. It's the power of relationships in my life. And that's the story that he continues on and talks about. He says the best way to lose your life and look back with regret is to never mature past the mindset that life is all about things. I've experienced this in my life. I've looked back even in like my younger parenting stages of like wanting to accumulate stuff. I think about clothes and shoes and things, right? Watches or jewelry. Like how often do you get crabby and you're like, I'm just going to go shopping for a little bit. That will bring me joy. And then you buy that thing and then you're like, still not happy. All right. So he says this, for people in this stage, life is so then he goes, eventually, hopefully most of us transition into the second stage of development, past the things and onto people. He goes, for people in this stage, life is no longer about things, but it's about experiences. So there's things, then there's like, hey, I want to do all of the things and experience life. And he goes, eventually you get to the point where you go, when we grasp that life is about people, when we make people our highest priority, this shift becomes the best measurable maturity, wholeness, and health you can ever experience. And I was reading through this chapter this morning. I have a couple of things I have a couple of things that some of you, not just you specifically that watching, but people on the KetoMOM page have sent me. And I was like, oh, this is a great thought. But first he goes, let's see. If you're reading this book, I would even say this, if you're on the KetoMOM page, if you're a person that listens to podcasts or your goal is like, I want to be the best version of me. I've made a basic assumption. If you're reading this book, if your goal is like, hey, I love self-development, I love personal development. He goes, you've got a type A personality, or at least you act like you do. You are driven, you are focused on your goals, you're ambitious, you've got dreams. You are relentless in your pursuit of excellence and achieving personal growth and greatness. That's a great thing, right? You may even struggle with feeling that people hold you back or slow you down. If any of these resonate with you, you need to be consciously aware of the fact that when you are focused on your goals, sometimes people in your life quickly, you lose focus on them. So one of the biggest things I was thinking about on the KetoMOM page and in the business that we're in is, first of all, I'll have people send me a message and they'll go, man, I feel like I can't hit my goals. I'm frustrated with my family. My kids don't support me. My spouse doesn't support me. And it's easy to look at the focus that you want to go after and the goals that you want to go after and get frustrated with the people around you because they don't see it how you see it, right? So then it's easy to go, well, it's their fault because I'm not hitting my goal. It's their fault because my kids don't want to eat how I want to eat. I mean, this is something I get so often. My spouse doesn't support me in the way that I'm eating, so I'm failing. Oh, no, it's It's not my fault. And I was thinking this morning, and it was a silly thought, but I was thinking of how many parents or spouses blame the other spouse because it's their fault, or it's their kid's fault, or they don't support me, or my friend is constantly bringing me donuts. But I really have a funny thought for you. Does your child or your spouse or your best friend or your coworker physically take the food and put it in your mouth? Isn't it funny how we can easily blame other people because we're so fixated and so focused on the goal that we want to hit that it's never our fault, right? It's usually somebody else's. And that's where he goes, when we're so focused and so driven, oftentimes relationships get out of focus. And then what do? We ruin them. We yell at our kids. We get frustrated with our spouse. We don't take on our own, like, oh yeah, this is my responsibility. If you've got goals in your health journey at all, while it's nice to have somebody that supports you, it is nobody else's fault but yourself. And that might be a hard, truth to swallow. You should never put your goal above a relationship, especially if you're married and especially if you've got kids. And I'm not talking about an abusive marriage. I'm not covering all of those things. I'm just simply saying you need to own and have responsibility for your own actions. And you eating that donut is nobody else's fault. So he dives into, and he shares, honestly, he has incredible stories, incredible insight. I want to relate it to this page because that's usually what I hear. Somebody else doesn't support me, so I'm not achieving my goals. He goes, oftentimes he has seen so many people put relationships on the back burner to achieve their goals, and the end result is they lose the relationship. He goes, no one succeeds on their own. And while I would say here, maybe you don't feel fully supported on your health journey, but guess what? It boils down to conversations. It boils down to you going, hey family, I made you this for dinner and here's what I'm going to have. Not biting back, not getting frustrated, not going, I can't believe you don't support me. I can't believe, and just owning it. I'm going to eat this. You're going to eat this. I'm not going to get frustrated and say that I'm fat and wreck this relationship. I'm just going to support you where you're at. And I'm going to do what I need to do, not losing focus on relationships, but also focusing on both. And I can do it with communication. All right. He goes, what does this shift look like practically? So then he goes, all right, I told you a ton of stories. Relationships are super important. If you don't understand that, you're going to get to the end of your life and you're going to go, man, I was so focused on money or so focused on myself or so focused on things that I lost the very thing that meant so much to me. He goes, what does this shift look like practically? He goes, it is choosing to be kind. It's tipping well the person that serves you, right? It's taking time to acknowledge the people around you and remember their names. It's speaking well of people when they are not in the room with you. It's remembering who helped you when you needed help and then returning the favor. It's making time for friendships. It's refusing to have the mentality that it's not personal, it's just business. It's making sure it's always personal, you're always listening, you're being present. It's seeing life through the template of relationships, not things or not just your own focus and you'll grab the relationships later. He said, I've walked so many people through divorce because one of the spouses chose the business before the marriage or chose the business before the kids. Or he's like, I've seen so many people lose their children because they were trying to achieve the things and the experience and that wrong focus and they left everybody else behind. He goes, when you finally understand that life is about people, everything else in your life changes. He goes, never choose things or experiences over relationships. Life is richer with good people in your life. And he also acknowledges the fact. He's like, listen, I realize that being surrounded by good people, it might not be easy. You might be like, hold on a second. I actually need a good environment of people. It takes time to find that. What's great is you can find a really good group of people online. I'm not saying that's the only way you should meet with people because I think we've easily hidden behind our computers. It's important to find relationships in your local area. But guess what? The point is it starts with you. He says, I want you to be kind. I want you to be loving. I want you to forgive. I want you to put relationships up here. If you feel not supported by the people around you, have some good conversations. Sit your family down. Like, talk to your kids and say, here's the goal and the focus that we're going after. Oh, I'm going to go back because there was a powerful part I wanted to read to you. All right. So he says, really to sum it up, he goes, many people will come in and out of your life. I actually think this is super powerful. And we've experienced this a lot with our business. We've experienced this with, we've moved a ton. And I can tell the relationships that actually were friendships because we still talk to those people regardless if we live in the same state. So every place we've moved, we have a handful of people that encourage us. They stick with us. There are friendships. We go back to Oklahoma or Kentucky or Minnesota or even come back to Florida and the friendships were still here. The ones that were true friendships. He goes, many people will come in and out of your life who are actually not your people. It's not that they don't have values or important to your journey. It's simply not the people who will travel with you to the very end. You may be seasoned in some people's lives, and guess what? It's completely fine. He goes, there will be hard choices to make along the journey. I need you to hear this because it is super important. If you choose a life of continuous progress, you will lose more people in your life, and you have to keep going. You're not going to be mean about it. But he goes, somebody explained it to me like this. I can't remember if I listened to a podcast or if I listened to a book. He goes, think of your life as like you're driving a bus, right? Everybody has their own bus. And there's people that come on your bus for your entire lifetime. Hopefully your family, right? There's people that come into your bus for a very short period of time and then they're off your bus. There's people that will come onto your bus in your life. It could be for years. And then they get off at the next stop. And he basically says this, as you're pursuing better, and it's great to have focus and you want to have goals and you want to pursue things, you also have to understand relationships come first, but there are seasons. There are seasons of relationships. He goes, life is about relationships, even when you have all of the passions you desire and all of the experiences, even great adventures, broken relationships will never steal the joy from it all. The greatest mistake you will ever make will not cost you money. It will cost you people. And so as we're going through this book and we're talking about mind shifts, the point of this book is to bring you awareness and go, where can I be a better me? What can I do to serve other people? How can I look at life with a perspective of, I want to pursue greatness in my life, but I want to take people with me. And so he's going to give you all of these different mind shifts and all of these different thoughts to go, all right, in this chapter, have I been focusing more on things? Have I elevated myself because nobody else wants to work on personal development? So now I feel like I'm the best person in my family because nobody else understands me. I have had to walk, or this is something that I've addressed even in business. You know, we are surrounded by incredible people in our business, but one of the things that I see, especially in marriages, is when one person decides to grow, meaning personal development, self-development, they're working on their self, they have a new awareness of life, they're reading and they're growing, and the other person doesn't. I often hear people bring up divorce so quickly. Oh, that person doesn't want to grow with me. That person doesn't understand me now. I am a better person because I have personal development. I have a different awareness, so I'm just going to leave that person. That's the last thing you should do. What you need to do is, as you're pursuing your goals and the dreams that you have for you and even your family, the best thing that you can do is talk to your spouse or talk to your family. Talk to the people that matter to you. Hey, here's what I'm dreaming of. Here's where I'm going. I think one of the biggest things we can learn, and I have to learn this daily, because I am not perfect, is to watch my tongue. I even had to learn it this morning. Sometimes people don't need to hear what you think. You can be kind and you can let some things sort itself out. But you don't have to cut people down and you don't have to be the bearer of bad news or constantly like, well, you're not doing what I want you to do, and you're not, I am better than you. Look at all of the things that I'm reading. If you just go to this chapter, he said it, and I'm going to say it one more time. He said, the greatest mistake you will ever make will not cost you money, which some of you might be like, listen, I've made some mistakes. It's cost me a lot of money. We have too. We have made lots of mistakes, and we have lost a lot of money. But I can tell you, I could put all of that aside and wouldn't care one bit about that money. If I were to lose a child or my husband or even my sister, like, that would ruin me. Okay, it wouldn't ruin me because I have God. But, I mean, that's way more important. So, the greatest mistake you will ever make will not cost you money. They will cost you people. So as we move forward into this book and we talk about all these mind shifts, what he said is if you don't understand that and you don't take that to heart and you don't pay attention to how you're treating people around you, you're going to lose the most important, the most valuable thing in your life. So I feel like that got real serious. This is the book. It's called Mind Shift. We'll go through it every single morning. It's going to be super, super great. I'm excited to continue to go on. Hey, if you have questions, ask your questions below. I actually would love for you, as we're talking about relationships, why don't you, before you pop off, tell me one person you're thankful for below. You could tag that person. You could go, hey, I'm thankful for you. Or just like I would say, I'm thankful for my husband. I'm thankful for my amazing 4 girls. We have some incredible friends. Like I was just talking to my mentor. Her name is Sherry in Oklahoma, and I was talking to her this morning. I'm so thankful for Sherry. I'm thankful for our mentors, Tony and Betty. We don't talk to them often, but whenever we need something, they're there for us. I'm thankful for all of our friends in Minnesota. And I'm thankful for our CEO in Kentucky. He has taught us more. My husband and I said, man, he has taught us more in our life about business, and he believed in us when nobody else did. I'm thankful for the opportunity that we get to go spend time with him very soon. And I'm thankful for all of our friends in Florida. And I have my sisters and my family. I mean, I'm thankful. I've got great people in my life. So today, today I challenge you to reach out to the people that matter to you and send them a message and go, hey, I was thinking of you today. And I just want you to know I'm thankful for you. If there's one thing that whenever we go to our events with our business, our CEO, Brian, always says, hey, before we dive into this content, before we learn, why don't you send a thank you message to all of the people that are helping you as you're here today, the ones that are watching your kids, the people that you love. Yep, you can get the book on Amazon for those who are asking. This is the book. I would encourage you to get it. But I want you, if you choose to participate, I want you to send a message to at least one person today and go, I'm thankful for you. Thank you for being a part of my life. Hey, sorry I've disappeared. I really, truly value our friendship or our relationship, or just say thank you. It goes a long way. So you really should do that every single day. Every morning you should get up, thank the Lord for the people in your life, and let them know you're thankful for them. So thank you for tuning in. Your presence matters. We'll continue to go through the book. You can always go to KetoMomSecrets.com. Click on recipes, click on mindfulness, click on how to get started, click on ketones. We've got trial packs and so much more. I hope you have a wonderful morning, wonderful afternoon, and we'll talk to you soon. Have a good day.